What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and gonads? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, of course, your host with the most. And today we're doing top 10 sports cars under 3K. Why? Or not 3K, 2K. 2K. Like 2K the game, except it's not the game. But we're doing top 10 sports cars under 2K because we're kind of doing a little series here of cars under different price ranges. Today is 2K. Before we get into it though, fact of the day is that whales sleep vertically and hold their breath while they're sleeping. Didn't know that. I'm sure other people have, but I didn't. If you want to be in the next video, you know what to do. Comment down below your fact of the day. Tell me a fact that I wouldn't know. I liked that one. That was very good. But anyway, let's get into it. Number 10 is the Dodge Dart GT, coming with a 2.4 liter turbocharged inline 4 that made 184 horsepower, and it was front wheel drive, and it looked literally like an egg. I'm sorry, I said it. I don't like the looks of the freaking Dodge Dart. It looks weird. The aftermarket support was small, and so even if it had a lot, it would be hard to make this car look cool. Unfortunately, because of the looks from the factory, it just doesn't work, you know, it just doesn't work. But where it lacks in speed and looks, it makes up for in daily driving and reliability. These are a freaking commuter car, guys. And sure, you can get it to fun speeds, but it's going to take a lot of ingenuity since not too many people make parts for these cars since they're kind of like Pepsi. Nobody wants it over Coke, but they'll take it if they have to. You know what are you picking up what I'm putting down? Number 9 is the Mark V Volkswagen Jetta, coming with a 2.5 liter inline 5 that made 200 horsepower and no, not 200, 150 horsepower. Don't know where I came up with that number. And it was front wheel drive. And I know you want the 2.0 T, but unfortunately, that's unrealistic. It's a little unrealistic for the price we have today. We got $2,000. We're not going to find a 2.0 T Jetta for under $2,000. It can be done, but the car will be beat up. And this car being number 9 is like, you're going to want a Jetta that's reliable. If you're buying a Jetta, most likely you're buying it for daily drivability and fun, and you're not going to want to buy a 2.0 T that has a bunch of work that needs to get into it. But this car being number 9 really shows how the rest of the list is going to go. I found some freaking bangers for under 2K. This car wasn't really banger though, it was more of like a tapper, but it got the job done when it needed to, and it made some really freaking cool noises. Here's a clip. Number 8 is the second generation Acura TL, that stands for Turtle Lickers, coming with a 3.2 liter V6 that made 225 horsepower, and it was front wheel drive. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, the TL is criminally underrated. They look so freaking cool when done right, and I love how they just look like a grandma car, but then they can be turned into demons. Acura and Honda is always so good at that. They always are so good at making cars that, like, to a normal person just looks like a commuter car. But then once a car guy gets their hands on it, it just turns into something completely different. And the Acura TL is no exception to that. It's just such a beast. They're also really good at making reliable daily drivers, obviously, since Civic is like one of the most reliable cars in the world. So if you need that for your life, but still need some sort of fun, this is a great choice. Speaking of fun, number 7 is the Volvo 240, coming with a 2.3 liter inline 4 that made 114 horsepower, and it was rear wheel drive, baby! And I know that I just said it's a lot of fun, and I also said 114 horsepower, and those don't really go well together in the same sentence. But they're a hugely popular choice in Russia, and this is the exact reason why. They are the most amazing drift cars out there for the price that you're paying for. It's like they were built to go sideways. It's so crazy to me. They have such low horsepower and they look like a box. It looks like the engineers of this car literally went out, grabbed a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, put it on like RC wheels, and was like, yo, we should make that into a real car. And then they did. It just looks like a box, but they're just so cool when you see them at the drift track getting sideways. It's awesome. Number 6 is the Ford Crown Vic, coming with a 4.6 liter V8 that made 239 horsepower, and it was rear wheel drive. And I love these cars. All right, I'm just gonna say it right now. The Ford Crown Vic is awesome. I would never own one. I don't know why. I don't like the looks of it, and they just don't do it for me. But I love the fact that like people do turn these into beasts. It's just awesome. There's also something about the drivers too. Every time I talk to a Ford Crown Vic driver, they're such the most humble person. They'll never try to be someone they're not. They'll never try to flex their car, and I like that about them. Also, with one of these cars, you can pretty much do donuts around a police officer, and he's gonna be like, "Hey, that's Dave." Then the real Dave is gonna turn the corner with the actual donuts in his hand, and the cop's gonna be like, "Nice donuts, Dave." And then Dave's gonna be all like, "Thanks, bro. I got them from Dunkin'." And then they're gonna put 2 and 2 together and realize that wasn't Dave. But by the time they figure that out, you're gonna be in like Kentucky. Number 5 is the Acura Integra GSR. That stands for Great Socks, Roy. Coming with a 1.8 liter inline 4 that made 170 horsepower, and it was front wheel drive, and it was a tuning legend. The Integra, the Civic, the RSX, whatever one you want to go for, they're all just amazing for tuning. I personally love everything about Acuras and Hondas except for the fact that they only come in front wheel drive. Why do they do that? Just make a rear wheel drive Civic. I will be the happiest man alive. Given the Integra GSR was something special even in Honda standards. They looked sporty from the factory. Civics never used to do that. And they backed it up on the track, especially with the Type R. The Type R had like the fastest front wheel drive production car lap times when it came out, something like that. Also, modding these and daily driving these is as easy as installing like Honey on your computer. I'm not sponsored, by the way, but Honey, where you're at, I'll give you a good review. Just send me some car parts. Number 4 is the Mazda RX-8, the forgotten Mazda, and it came with a 1.3 liter Wankel 2-rotor rotary engine that made 212 horsepower, and it was rear-wheel drive, and it's the most unreliable car on this list, and it's definitely not the best choice for someone who needs like a first car or a daily driver or wants to learn how to work on cars. Not your best bet if you're doing any of those. It's a fun Sunday cruiser. That's really all it is. Maybe a drift car if you're a little nuts. And if you have some mechanical knowledge already, then yeah, it's a great choice for, like I said, for the Sunday driver part though. If you're going into this thinking this is a good first car, I want to learn everything on this car, it's very bad because 9 times out of 10, the next car you buy isn't going to be another rotary. And so you're going to have all this rotary knowledge when you don't need it. Third place, speaking of Civics, it's the Honda Civic EG, coming with a bunch of different motors for whichever one you get, but they all made around 100 to 140 horsepower. I think the lowest trim model had 90 horsepower, which is kind of funny, and then the highest had like 140, but they were all front wheel drive and they all looked pretty cool in my opinion. These Civics are definitely the opposite of the Mazda RX-8. They are the best car for someone that's trying to get cheap power, needs a daily driver, wants the car to be reliable, and has no knowledge on cars whatsoever. They're so forgiving, they're so cheap to work on, they're easy to work on, and they can make power with like $10. You can buy like a friggin' Wendy's 4for$4 and they'll throw you a turbo kit for a Honda Civic in it. Everything is just so simple. Even if you're like Patrick Starr when it comes to cars, this is still a great choice for you. Not only will it teach you so much stuff about cars, but it's also one of the most rewarding cars out there when you finally do get some power out of it. Second place is the Toyota MR2 first generation that came with a 1.6 liter inline 4 making 128 horsepower, and it was rear wheel drive, and it was mid-engined, and it was extremely freaking dangerous. It was like skydiving without a parachute, said that wrong. To be honest, I don't know why I put it this high on the list. Personally, I think they look really cool. That's pretty much it. Everything else about this car is not worth your money. I repeat, you shouldn't buy this car unless you know what you're doing. One, they're not fast. 128 horsepower is not fast. Yes, they were light, but it was still not quick. They're dangerous is number 2. They're mid-engine. They're rear-wheel drive. They have snap oversteer. Not a good combo. 3, they're really old, so they will need work, and the work itself is not easy since it's mid-engine, and it's a really old car. Parts are not cheap, they're not anywhere, and they're bad for daily driving. But all that stuff just to the side, the stuff that nobody cares about, they do have pop-up headlights, so that right there adds at least $10,000 onto their retail value. But first place, you guessed it, baby, it's an Infiniti. The Infiniti G35 Sedan that came with a 3.5 liter V6 that made 305 horsepower, and it was rear wheel drive and has easily the most amount of horsepower on this list, along with reliability, which has made it an easy number 1 to me. 305 horsepower, rear wheel drive, 4 doors, and Nissan reliability. for under $2,000, and it's pretty much a 350Z with 4 doors. That's why it's number one. This is the first time a Nissan / Infiniti is number one, but isn't biased on my list. Every other time, I'll admit, every time I put a Nissan or Infiniti on my list, it's because I like them. But this time, I truly believe that this is the best choice if you're looking for a car for under $2,000. It has all the reliability that you'll need as long as you don't beat it up. It has all the speed that you'll need. It has all the aftermarket potential that you need. It has one of the biggest communities out there for any car in the world, and it has 4 doors so you can still fit all your friends in it. It's pretty much a 4-door 350Z / G35 coupe. Alrighty, but that is the end of this list. I hope you guys enjoyed. I love making these videos, but we're so close to the end. This is $2 grand. Next video is gonna be $1 grand, and then we're done. We're done, baby. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for all the support that I've gotten through this series. This series alone has grown my channel from like 2,500 subscribers up to almost 4,500 already, which is really cool to me. So I really thank you guys for that. Also, I really enjoy this whole new like fact of the day thing. So keep your facts coming down in the comments below. Yesterday, I found out so many facts, and it was actually really hard to choose one. I thought it was just gonna be like one guy, and it was gonna be really easy. But like 10 of you guys commented a fact, and I was like, that's awesome. Thank you guys for doing that. So make sure you guys comment a fact down below so you can have a chance to be in the next video. Make it really interesting. Make it something that I won't know. Because that whale one, I did not know they sleep vertically and that they hold their breath. And I looked it up and it's true. And I was like mind blown. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Das Vidania, and have a nice day.